Hello again. This is Jeff with more blunt talk about Bernie. This time I've got a cat behind me at the moment, and in front of you at a camera range are about 200 pounds worth of dogs. Hopefully none of them will disturb me while I get through this. But in this segment, I want to talk about honor or integrity and the value and principles that underlie them. First, a quotation to toss your way. This is from Vaclav Havel, the world-famous Czech playwright. He saw his country through the Velvet Revolution and the fall of communism. Then he served as president of Czechoslovakia. Among his numerous awards before he died, just a few years back, is the Amnesty International Ambassador of Conscience Award. Relevant to conscience is this observation he wrote in Disturbing the Peace. That's a book of memoir interviews that were conducted years later. He had been engaged in activities to oppose communism that had him jailed and released in 1977. If he continued with them, he'd return there 2 years later. Looking back on that moment, Havel wrote this. This time, though, I wasn't afraid of the prospect. I now knew roughly what to expect. I knew that whether my stay in prison was going to have any value in general terms depended entirely on me, and I knew that I would stand the test. I had come to the conclusion, and it may seem overly dramatic to put it like this, but I swear I mean it, that it is better not to live at all than to live without honor. If my intuition told me that I was headed for prison as it had in 77, then this time, unlike then, it was not merely a premonition of something unknown, but a clear awareness of what it would mean, quiet perseverance and its unavoidable outcome, several hard years in prison. That's a remarkable statement, to need to live with honor to conduct your life. A sense of honor is informed by values you believe are right for living among men and women you respect as other individuals, in a society altogether with them. Values lead you to form certain principles of behavior, not only in private, but public ones to be applied in policy for governing society. Principle and the values that inform it are a measuring stick for how well you stay the course with governing as well as living your own life. The closer to consistency you can achieve, the more integrity you have. The more your integrity recognizes the dignity of others and empowers them to live life too, the higher its value. We need to make that distinction because of the old saying, honor among thieves. That's the kind of honor or integrity that's irrelevant to this discussion. And so we get to Bernie. In decades of political and governing life, at the state and the federal levels, Bernie has been without peer in staying the course and living in his sense of honor. Not perfect, I'm sure, but then none of us ever is. That's part of the tension of life, but there's a struggle involved. It's the sense of his integrity and his consistency that immediately strikes people, even if they don't like some of Bernie's ideas. You can't deny it in a man who's been in politics for so long, working steadily at applying his values, and who's shunned the games and opportunities that would have made him a millionaire. When he says the greed must stop, he speaks from a position of authority, a place that recognizes there's more to life than making money by any means at hand. Earlier this year, well actually last year now, the Pope visited the U.S. and addressed Congress on the nobility of their own profession. You are the face of its people, their representatives, he told members of Congress. You are called to defend and preserve the dignity of your fellow citizens in the tireless and demanding pursuit of the common good, for this is the chief aim of all politics. Tireless and demanding pursuit, common good, chief aim. Are you starting to see these things reflected in Bernie and his career? going way back to his civil rights era days. I doubt you can avoid it. See you next time.